Let's get started. Now, the former Trades and Industry Minister, Ecospio Gabra, is accusing government of lacking the political commitment to revive the Comenda Sugar Factory. It follows concerns by residents in the catchment area of the factory that the administration has failed to honor a campaign promise to get the central regional factory working. Jojo Kobna visited the Comenda Sugar Factory, and this is what he learned.
There sits the Comenda Sugar Factory. It was revamped in 2016, but for now, I would not call it a sugar factory. It is a huge monument showing the nation what failure to plan looks like.
Beyond the issue of bad planning and neglect, the $35 million facility is gradually rusting away after 2 years of inactivity and lack of maintenance. This is how the factory looked like 2 years ago. Now, this is the current state. The well-coated and painted metal plates now look brownish, corroding as the day goes by. Kweku Isaac Inketia, a resident, says he regularly drives by the factory and gets upset to always find it idle.
In fact, Uncle, oya tete oya yaw. Me again nipa, samu twon mu na factory sie jana. Beja me yedwumo. Me yedwume bia. Be hye nwon polo jam. We jam mpa wie. Enti mu na factory sia na adoli jam no in fact. E bia sa ade ye adwuma, anka mutumi ya kwanja sam mapa pra hwe ni mpa na de modo do ho mpa. Anka obobom amna me family. But me na ma di sie jana mfaso bia de. La be kra de no yere. One face kan waje ye. Ade so sie no sika papa no waje waje ye. E mutumi da ade sie jana bibia nkodo a oya me yo 2 years in you, 10 million investment. The man, uncle, I am the whole key another gun and make nala.
For now, sugarcane cultivated to feed the factory are channeled to Akpatashi distillers.
That is what you answer, but you, boys and girls, you say your life. Oh, and so I'm mentality. Oh, your pa. And the best laban. I do so eska kraba. O eska kraba krade. It's best than pa. On fun we so no one bet.
Now, it appears the factory may not be operationalized anytime soon, as Information Minister designate Kojo Opong Nkrumah says the Trade Ministry is still yet to get an investor to run the factory.
It must be stated that government has not said that it will, or the state will build these factories on its own. We have insisted consistently that we will work with the private sector, we'll collaborate with the private sector, we'll facilitate the work of the private sector in building these factories. 18 factories have been accredited so far. An additional 50 are expected to be accredited before the end of this year. And this should bring to almost 70 the 1D, 1F projects by the end of this year, 2018. It's not the business of government to be doing business. The business of government is to create that enabling environment and to encourage the private sector to go there. As was mentioned by the Trades and Industries Minister, the Comenda Sugar Factory requires a private sector partner with capitalization that would ensure that, for example, outgrowers, raw materials, etc., are regularly available to feed it. That requires its own funding and the things associated with it. And the ministry is going through the process of finding the necessary investors who will be able to take on that risk and run in that space. And when we have a new update, we'll make it available.
But the former Trade and Industry Minister, Ecospio Gabra, says government's inability to allocate money in previous budget statements to the factory shows it is not committed to bringing it back on stream. He is not impressed with how government is rolling out its industrialization agenda.
The industrialization agenda doesn't make sense if you have a factory sitting down already, like Comenda Sugar Factory, which simply needs government prioritization and government focus to work, and the government is not allowing it to work. That cannot be a basis for saying that the country is serious about industrialization. One district, one factory, after 18 months, not one factory has been built and not one factory is producing. So there may be 10, 20 factories that they are trying to build. It shows a slow progress in this matter because the whole One District One Factory initiative was apparently lodged in a certain ministry that reported to the presidency, rather than possibly being lodged at the Ministry of Trade and Industry, where the right experts and civil servants who have the right orientation are located. So that may have slowed down the One District One Factory initiative, for example. And so due to all of that, one cannot say that NPP have begun on any serious industrialization agenda.
On Commander, they say they are looking for a strategic partner to take over.
Yes, I handed over to the NPP one strategic partner that was already willing to pay $25 million to own 70% of Commander Sugar Factory, and a list of other potential investors from Mauritius, from the UK, from Brazil, from India. I don't know what they did with that list. They seem to think anybody who was working or talking to the NDC is somehow colored politically, and so they must go and look for their own new human beings, but they are not.
Do I get a sense that you suggest that you feel that it's more than just what we are seeing on the air that is causing the factory to remain idle, perhaps?
Of course, without any question. NPP have chosen not to make it a priority. If they have made it a priority, they should tell us how much in the budget for the Ministry of Trade and Industry they put for maintaining the Commander Sugar Factory. You as a media person, go and do the research. Did they budget 1.5 million, 2 million, 3 million cedis to support what needs to be done for the factory to work, or is zero?
Well, let's move on. The Ghana Highways Authority has started work to expand the drainage system and culvert on a section of the N1 highway. The project, which is funded by the Ares Property Group, is expected to halt flooding on portions of the road. Well, speaking to JoyNews, Regional Director of the Ghana Highways Authority, Lawrence Lamptey, stated the project is likely to cause traffic as they intend blocking some lay-by on the stretch.
It's about solving the flooding problem around this area. Normally when it rains, the water stays here for a long period, and you can see vehicles get stranded so that people don't move quickly in and out. Now the problem wasn't here in the past. When the road was constructed, it was fine. The drains were adequate. But because we have put our buildings, we have covered the natural ground, the water can't percolate. So now the water stays on the ground and stays for a long period. And so the drains have become inadequate, and that is why it floods. What we are doing now is trying to replace the drains that crosses the lay-by into the main road. Increase it so the water can go at a faster rate. So that can reduce the flooding that occurs here anytime it rains. Really, it's this place that has the flooding. Remember, flooding is a natural phenomenon. It's a natural disaster that happens. So wherever it rains and the intensity and the duration is quite high, of course, you get flooding. But this place is because of the inadequate structure, drains that we have here. That's why it floods here all the time. And when we do this, we know that solve the problem here. And if you find such situations elsewhere, and we get partnership, like we have Ares Corporation working with us, PPP, we can. It's likely to affect the flow of traffic because we are going to block the lay-by for that period. This access road is called a lay-by. We are going to block it so that vehicles will be compelled to use only the main road. And then we cut through the asphalt, take out the silted and undersized drain, and put back in bigger pipe drains so that the water can flow.
And for their commitments, the CEO of the Ares Property Group, Enoch Ntiamensa, says his outfit deemed it necessary to fix the challenge because of the inconvenience it usually posed to motorists and pedestrians anytime it rained.
That we are having. Even though this particular issue does not necessarily affect our building specifically, because our building is on a higher plane and then our access literally is at the back of the building, we felt that it becomes a nuisance in front of our building, hence our motivation to help get rid of this particular problem, which has bedeviled us for quite some time now. Well, unfortunately, this conversation has started for quite some time. We have engaged all the other property owners along the stretch. Unfortunately, they have not been forthcoming, and we just couldn't sit down and then fold our arms whilst we see this particular problem occur in front of our building. Hence, our decision to solely fund this particular project that we are doing.
To the Western region next, where metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies are responsible for the collection and final disposal of solid waste through their waste management departments and environmental health and sanitation departments. This is not the situation with the Ahanta West Municipality Assembly of the Western region, which is struggling to dispose of waste collected within the municipality. Residents of Damtse, a farming community in the area, have blocked waste management companies from using a part of their area as a landfill site. According to the residents, their action is hinged on the Assembly's failure to construct the 2-kilometer road leading to the community from the dump site. Inatalia Kwansa has more in this report.
Felt everywhere following the ban on the dumping of refuse in the Dante community. For people within the Ahanta West Municipal Assembly, everywhere is a dumping site now. An MOU was signed on the 7th of June 2011 by the then District Coordinating Director, Mr. Asamoah-Nyarko, for the road to be rebuilt anytime it deteriorates. But according to the people, this is not happening.
Council for Assase in the year 2000. The time na mention kura ofana na nje toku auto de basan wa kone krechi no ho.
The Assembly came for the land in the year 2000 when the late Nana Mujatuku III was the chief. The Assembly had by then combed the whole of the district for a place to dump their refuse, but they didn't get any place. So we offered to give them the land.
1,000 oil in Kano 10 million.
We met them for a discussion and we agreed that we will not sell the land to them, but we will take a token fee of 1,000 Ghana cedis. We again agreed that the Assembly on every Kundum festival would donate an amount of 200 Ghana cedis and some drinks to the palace. We also demanded for other basic amenities, of which they agreed to provide, but they have failed to keep to their promise.
A visit to the dump site confirmed the concerns of the community, as the chief's car in which we traveled got stuck in a pool of water which was collected on the road. Eventually, I was carried out of the car to a safe place as the attempt to get the vehicle out of the water continued.
So behind me are elders of Aguna Damete in the Ahanta West Municipality of the Western region. We are trying to get to the dumping field site, which has become a controversy between the elders, residents, and then the assembly. The elders and residents here are complaining that the assembly has failed to fulfill the promise they have kept. Especially, they told them they would construct the road, but as you can see behind me, they are finding it difficult to even drive through. We are heading to the dump site to see exactly what the situation is.
Assembly.
Well, we have to take you to the Ashanti region before we bring to a close the latest news roundup. The National Ambulance Service is calling for the incorporation of basic emergency care into the curricula of security services and general driving training. Deputy Coordinator for the service, Dr. Maxwell Osei-Ampofu, believes a well-trained public will ultimately help reduce casualty levels in times of emergencies. He was speaking at a road safety workshop for personnel of the Ghana Police Service that took place in the Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi.
The 2018 media review by the National Road Safety Commission put average death rate per month at 202. Dr. Osei-Ampofu believes drivers and other frontline attendants, as well as police, have a role to play in managing accident victims to improve survival rate.
Because most of the time, either the police are arriving first on the scene, or fire is arriving first on the scene, or there's a taxi driver, or there's a, what do you call it, a trotro driver, or any driver, or any road user. It's important that we incorporate into their training what we call a basic emergency care course, so that they will appreciate how to handle, injuries injuries, and including other emergencies as well. Not only injuries. This is basic emergency. It's not first aid. It's more than first aid because it's teaching you how to handle injuries and also other illnesses. Because even sometimes when people get injured from road traffic injuries or crashes, the way that they are handled can actually worsen or aggravate their condition. You know, they may have a spinal cord injury, which is not complete. Just by the movement, the lifting, they may get worse. So I think this is a call, you know, to the training institutions, Ghana Police Service, Ghana Fire Service, you know, DVLA, so that every driver who goes to any training school, they should have a basic emergency care course.
Meanwhile, non-governmental advocacy group Only Best Road Safety Organization says it's taking road safety education to schools and churches. The group collaborates with security agencies and other state institutions to promote safety on the roads. They include Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, Ambulance Service, Ghana Highways Authority, Department of Urban Roads, and Ghana Road Safety Commission.
Before then, they are helping education of road users so that they obey the road signs, make sure that they are not in danger of injuries. But if the inevitable happens, then Only Best Road Safety Organization is also there to help road victim crashes in all the way, including compensation, how they can get their needed compensation from the insurance companies. So this morning, Only Best Road Safety Organization is organizing a training program for road crash investigators, so especially the police and then medical personnel, as to what needs to happen, you know, during road crashes.
Reporting for JoyNews, Kwesi Deborah.
Well, emergencies and the care that is supposed to be given when these cases occur are important. Well, Kujo, well, we have to look at the latest news headlines. We'll be reviewing that next. Mama Vio Sabwaje and ourselves, right?
That's right. She'll be here before you know it for the newspaper review. Stay tuned.